coming up only to hold you under, and coming up only to show you wrong, and to know you is hard, and we wonder. To know you all wrong, we won. Really too late to call, so we wait for morning to wake you is all we got. But to know me as hardly golden is to know me all wrong, they would. At every occasion I'll be ready for the funeral. At every occasion once more, it's called the funeral. Every occasion, oh, I'm ready for the funeral. At every occasion, oh, 1 billion day funeral. I'm coming up only to show you down for, and coming up only to show you wrong. To the outside, the dead leaves, they are alone, for they died and had trees to hang their bones. Every occasion I'll be ready for the funeral. At every occasion once more, it's called the funeral. At every occasion, oh, I'm ready for the funeral. Every occasion, oh, 1 billion day funeral.
Oh man, that was fun. So I literally just now finished up that 4S pack. And I wanted to start a video so that I could talk about how I feel after flying it. And the first thing that I would have to say is, wow. 4S on this is just amazing. I mean, I am only going to be wanting to fly 4S on this. 3S was cool. I flew at 3S yesterday, only for a little while out front. I just did some passes up and down the road. Got lost for a minute and lost receiver signal for a minute as well. Luckily, I didn't disarm. It lost receiver when it was going away from me pretty far, like, I don't know how far exactly, but it was towards the end of the road, into the street. And it like lost RX for a second. It started to drop, and then it came back and kept going. So that's a lesson to you guys that are quick to hit disarm, which I do as well. But sometimes you can get away with not disarming and recover your quad, which is really nice. So this is the pack I was using. I hate tattoo. I don't like tattoos at all. It's a 654S, but it's the only 4S that I have, so I had to use it. It didn't do too bad. I was kind of actually surprised that it wasn't flashing the OSD on the screen saying low battery or land now. It didn't even do it once, which was shocking to me. And it's all because of these motors. I'm telling you, these motors are the most efficient motors I've seen for a 3-inch. It's just crazy. It's awesome. I am very happy with this quad. So you saw me at the end of the DVR. I crashed into the swing set. It didn't even do any damage at all. All it did was push the camera downwards. Like, I guess it was too loose. I didn't have it tightened enough, so it pushed it down. Actually, it's pretty hard to push it, but it was pushed down like that when I went to grab it. That was the only thing that happened. No props were bent or anything. These are pretty good props. They're HQ 3030s. The motors were barely warm as well. I mean, I was cruising across the sky back and forth, you know, probably above 3/4 throttle almost the whole time, you know, and motors were barely even warm. And another thing I want to check is the voltage. So let's check what the voltage is at. I don't even know how long I flew for, but I'm sure I'll know once I edit this video. But it seemed like a pretty decent amount of time that I flew. 15, so it's not too low. Yeah, 3.77. I still could have flew for another 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe even a minute if I wasn't going full throttle the rest of the way. But I could have at least gone another 30 seconds full throttle for sure. And that's a shitty tattoo battery, so imagine if I was using a G&B or whatever. So yeah, pretty happy with this setup. This could potentially become my favorite quad, but I'm definitely gonna have to take these decals off of the side plates. It's just really bugging me. I don't know why it bugs me so much. This shit just sticks up. I did another one. Actually, I'll show you real quick. I'll show you the other one. Hold on. Let me grab it. I showed you that other decal, but I actually put it on a quad. It's another eclair lite. Here it is right here. Looks pretty good. And what I did was, since I already knew that it was going to do that around the camera, before I even put it on here, I notched out a piece on the top and bottom, right where the screw goes. You can see it's kind of a square around the screw. But yeah, it's not peeling up at all. And it's not going to, because I notched it out. On this side too, I did a little bit better job on this side. But yeah, that's what you got to do. This one's pretty nice. I like it. I had to replace all of the version 1 Rotor X 1404 3600 kV motors on this. All of them were bad. Well, there might have been one good one, I think, but he wanted all V2s on here anyway, so I just swapped them all out for V2s. But yeah, so I replaced one, of the version 1 because the bearings, it just wouldn't spin. Like when I try to spin it, it would just barely move, you know. So the bearings were out. Then I sent it back to him. He flew it a little bit, and then another motor went out. So he sent it back to fix that. I replaced that, and then when I went to test it, another motor stopped working. I'm like, what the hell? It's just the craziest shit, man. I just can't believe it. Rotor X is such a good company, high quality. You know, I don't understand why that shit's happening. Anyway, back to this guy, man. Oh, so fun. So fun on 4S. 3S was like, you know, I wasn't like impressed with it, but it wasn't bad. I mean, I was able to cruise around kind of how I like to, you know. What I like personally is when I punch the throttle, I like the quad to blast off, you know, and on 3S this doesn't really just like blast off like I like, but it was more than enough power to cruise around and do tricks and stuff that I like to do without any problem, you know. But 4S was just like more of an adrenaline rush, you know, and it was just way funner. So yeah, I need to pick up some of those race day quads, 654S, if they have some. I haven't even checked, but hopefully there's some of those G&B 654S, because I love those batteries. Yeah, I slammed into that swing set. It didn't even hurt the camera at all. It bent it down, but there's no scratches or nothing on it. You got lucky. And this antenna, that's like the third crash that I've had on this thing, and yeah, the antenna is just holding up so good. It's probably because I zip tied it to the side, as well as super glued the connector to the VTX. The VTX is doing pretty good as well. I'm not like super impressed with it, but you know, it is only 200 milliwatts. So yeah, and this antenna, I mean, it's not super impressive. I mean, it is impressive, but I don't know. I think I was just hoping for more or something. I don't know. I think it might do better on a different VTX, like a Unify Pro or something. So yeah, that's about all I got. I know this is a long video. Thanks for watching all the way if you did. I need to tighten up this camera and get back at it. So yesterday when I was flying it on 3S, it was my first flight ever of this thing. And I didn't even know it, but so I flashed this to butterfly and I forgot to set up any kind of flight modes. So it was just in acro because I didn't set anything up. And whenever I'd go to do a flip or something, the quad would like do the flip and then it would do this weird like moving around shit. And it always does that on every quad if I'm not using air mode. If I just try regular acro, it does that every time. It does this weird moving around shit. But in air mode, it's nice and crisp, you know? I don't know. So yeah, I got it set up on air mode today. I just put air mode always on in configuration tab, since that's all I ever use. I don't need more than that one flight mode. Yeah, pretty nice quad though. Pretty happy with it. Tons of power. I like these props. I'm gonna try a few different props too. Yesterday when I flew it, I was flying the Avons. Today I did the HQs. I need to pick up some of the 3044 TX Rotor X props too. Alright,